what happens is many times you'll have the meeting between the students, the one who was the victim and then the one who was the offender. And many times during that meeting, I mean, depending on the offense, it can be pretty intense to have to meet, to have to face that person who hurt you, you know. Unfortunately, though, what's happening is that there are no consequences after that meeting takes place. So it becomes these restorative practices, and if you look them up, they're not defined, and they're almost restorative practices. If you look at the student code of conduct, there's restorative practices from level A all the way to the highest level. Like, how do you have restorative practices all the way to the highest level? At what point do you finally decide to expel the student? It doesn't make any sense. The way that restorative justice is playing out at the high school level, it's just, it boggles the mind. Now, it makes sense at the elementary school level when we have some, you know, the beginnings of like the bullying and the teasing, and so you help the students deal with those like relationships with their peers and such. But once it reaches middle school, you know, where the teasing becomes, this is when the developmental changes kick in. And then the tribalism kicks in at the middle school level. Is when things get very intense amongst the students, where the bullying becomes hyper focused on maybe traits or qualities of that person to really hurt them. At that point, we need to move beyond restorative practices. Like, there needs to be consequences, and there aren't any right now. Teachers do not have the support to enforce the consequences. Administrators don't have the support to enforce the consequences. That's because MCPS, Central Office, will not allow consequences to be enforced. They don't want that. This is something that's active in the building. I've seen it myself. They don't want it. And so, I mean, it's a highly controversial issue, obviously. We need to go back to enforcing consequences.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Thank you.
I will say though too, that was also very much from my standpoint questioning though elementary, because I know you're speaking to high school, but elementary is a huge, massive issue. Because last May we still had in my son's class, the same two children were throwing Sharpies at their teacher from the back of the room. Nothing was addressed. This is May. This is in October. So then this following school year, pull him out, put him in private school, got straight A's. The kid can't read. The kid is failing English language. Like, he was under the radar.